Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Reaver and welcome to part 2 of the catching up on all the things speed round, speed dating with my recent reads type video thing. Gamora, let's start with her. For Gamora, okay, I read the Mortal Instruments graphic novel volume 1. This was a reread for me this year. I used this for a parent is an antagonist, a highly trained character, difficult choice. This book is okay. Not the hugest fan of the graphic novel adaptations. I don't know why I keep buying them and reading them, to be honest, other than the fact that I can't help myself. I just feel the need to have all of the books from anything Shadowhunter related. The Rise of the Red Hand by Olivia Chada, which I believe I have talked about in a video. So yeah, because I did Star-Lord. Okay, so yeah, this one you can find my thoughts in that other video. And then we have The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, which was an interesting book. This is a YA thrillery book. It's really good. I really liked it. I think I gave it like 3 or 4 stars. I used The Rise of the Red Hand for an enhanced character and a rebel. I used The Female of the Species for sisters, a loner, a parent, a green on the cover, and that covers Gamora. Let's go to Drax and Mantis. For Drax and Mantis, I used Vision's reward to reuse The Sound of Stars. The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. So I reused that for Lost Family, brute strength, vengeful character, comedic duo, features aliens. And then I reused Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer by using one of my Save Bucky rewards, and that covered a cinnamon roll and a killer dynamic. And then I reused the Battle Caecilius for why did I say brute strength with Sound of Stars? That's not Sound of Stars. That was the Caecilius, and I used Kindred, the graphic novel, and I also used that for a book that makes you emotional, Kindred, for that as well. And then for the Ragnarok Take Off 1 November prompt, I used for Metaphor. Obviously, this is one of the ones that I knocked out using powers prior to us doing the thing, which worked out really good because of the fact that I hadn't read anything for this board yet, and so I would have ended up with it on hold and not being able to work on it, so worked out pretty good that I went ahead and knocked it out with powers. Nebula. I reused Daughter of Smoke and Bone with Gamora's power. I pulled Daughter of Smoke and Bone. So Gamora's power is to steal a book from another Avenger to use on another Guardians board. So I pulled Daughter of Smoke and Bone and I used it for professional bad cool tone cover, sufficient character, morally gray character, and sibling friction. The things she's seen for tortured character and loss and grief. Hope and Other Punchlines by Julie Buxbaum. Strangers Teaming Up. I originally thought this story was supposed to be about, I misremembered when I read the synopsis. I thought it was about like the post 9/11 Muslim hatred and Islamic hate crimes and the cruelty of all of that. I thought that was what this was kind of going to be about, but I remembered completely wrong. Also, the title comes from Hope being the character's middle name, and then Punchlines is about this character is obsessed with comedy, the guy character, and his goal, one of his life goals, is to try to come up with the perfect 9/11 joke. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain that any further. Coming from an author who was not there. This author was not there at 9/11. She discusses nothing about her family being involved in, the deaths or anything like that. So yes, all of our lives were impacted, but not all of our lives were impacted in the same way. And you have no right to like try to make light of a situation like that people, some people's lives were entirely destroyed because of. So sit down. That's the thing that I think pisses me off the most, is I went into this hoping that maybe Julie Buxbaum had like some special knowledge that I don't know. But she doesn't at all. In fact, I believe she lives on the other side of the country. Yeah, she lives in LA. She lives in LA. Completely on the opposite side of the country, and yet she's decided that she is the person that can write a YA story about characters to do with 9/11 experiences, like she had some sort of big involvement in it. Like it, you know, like yes, your life was somewhat impacted, but not nearly enough to have it be the subject of a book that you write. Like in this way, it'd be different if she was writing like something else about post 9/11 related stuff, but she's writing it, you know, talking about this community that's there in the area that's like just outside of the city, where a lot of those people worked that lived in this area were the people that worked in the Twin Towers. They just lived right outside the city in this little community, and how much that community was affected. Like that's what she was basing everything off of and everything, which is great and dandy. But like, let somebody else who is actually in the community choose if they're gonna make a joke about 9/11. Not you. Sit down. It's a 2-star from me. Honestly, I might go to a 1-star. After talking about it just now, like, I think I'm done with Julie Buxbaum though, because the last book I read of hers, the Tell Me 3 Things, was like a middle of the road, I think. It was like a 3 or a 4, I think. But I think it was a 3. I think it was a 3. And then this one was like a 1 or a 2. I just don't think she's the author for me. Moving on, because I don't need to talk about it anymore. So there's Nebula, Lady Sif. We have Sanctuary, which was the group book for that month. So we have a character with conflicted loyalties, conflicted family. I think I wrote that wrong. Something about family. A kick-A team, a female soldier, and destruction on the cover. And then I did The Things She's Seen for a book that doesn't get enough credit. And then I did a reread of Pumpkinheads by Marie Burrell, which knocked out the outspoken main character. I took this prompt, a side character that steals the show. I used Malekith vanish part of a prompt, and I eliminated the show part. So it's just has a side character that steals. There's this little boy that steals Deja's food like twice. So there's that. That was a reread, so I'm not going to talk much about it because I've talked about it before. Okay, and then let's go from that. Let's go from Lady Sif to Valkyrie. Let's go to Valkyrie. For Valkyrie, we have This Is How You Lose the Time War, covering the sapphic romance and featuring war. I also used Sif's power, and I eliminated the LGBTQ author, LGBTQ main character, and rainbow colors on the cover. I originally was going to use Ship It for that, but I was trying to knock out some boards, so ta-da! And then about addiction, I did one of the anonymous journal thingies, and that is Letting Anna Go. These I'm starting to get to the point where I think I might not read the other ones. I have 2 more, and then I know there's another one that is out that is supposed to go in there and that I just didn't have. But I think I might be done with them because this is like my 3rd or 4th. This is my 4th one, and although I appreciate them in some capacity, like with the controversy element that I can't get confirmation on, and all of that stuff. And like, I don't know. I think I'm done with them. I think I'm over them. They're fine. They're good. There's some good elements to them, but I don't know that I'm ready to continue. I do appreciate that this one was a completely different spin on it, and that this one was about eating disorders rather than drug addiction. Moving on, we have, I actually used Iron Man's powers to revive Sif's power to use on this board, because I used Sif somewhere else. So I actually used Iron Man's power to reuse Sif, and that's why I used Sif here. Okay, anyways, and then I used the Mortal Instruments Volume 3. I used this for Women in Power because the Silly Queen is in this one. And then, nope, that's it. Okay, that's it. Alright, Valkyrie, done. Let's see. Yelena. I used these Violent Delights for life or death stakes and reference a cultural touchstone. Oh my god. Ah! I used this also for Dysfunctional Family, and then I used the Boss Battle Stain to reuse an Iron Man book to do Every Heart a Doorway to cover an unorthodox education and why in the title. And then I did A Cursed Ash by Julie Santopolos. Ah! Yay. Okay, I'm not going to talk about this too long here, although I really could. The only reason I'm not going to talk about it long here is because I do have an entire vlog for this, so you will see that instead. But it's amazing, and it's 5 stars, and I loved it a lot. Just go get it. Just go get it, okay? Just go get it. I used that for a posed person on the cover and comic relief. I also used Every Heart a Doorway for a spin-off or companion book. Forgot to mention that, because it's like in the series, but they're not like a series. It's like, it may be cheating, but I'm counting it, okay? Okay, so for Captain Marvel, we have the Pietro swap that I did with Vision. I swapped the Set in the 90s prompt to be the has a power they don't understand. For that, I used A Song of Ice and Ruin. And then I also used that for a character recovers memories, displaced character, and unlikely alliance. I used Sif's power the first time on this board, so that covered lesbian main character, female role model, and a holographic or a multi-chrome cover. Then a hidden threat, I used Paper Girls Volume 2. And then, yeah, that's it. Captain Marvel done. Okay. Is that really it? Oh, Okoye. I used Fry Bread for an Indigenous author. And then I did Ace of Spades to cover sense of community and international BIPOC rep, which I don't know if this is exactly strictly international characters, but I mean, she's in London, so I feel like it counts for something. Okay, so I really liked this a lot. I gave it 4 stars. We just talked about it in the live show, actually, right before I filmed this. So if you want to hear more about that, then go check out the live show for December on Christine's channel. Yeah, we're gonna move on. I'm not gonna go in depth because I already talked about it there. And again, all of the in-depth thoughts are on the Goodreads, so you can just go to my Goodreads and search whichever book you're looking for my thoughts on. Okay, I used Happy's Reward, which covered, I was able to reuse Legendborn by doing that, and then that covered tattoos and Black Woman on the cover, and then Gets the Job Done. And then I used Bucky's Reward to reuse my longest book, and so that covered Love and Ethics, or Love versus Ethics and Icon or Iconic Character. And that book, the longest book was Midnight Sun. So that's that. Finally, we have Stan! Okay, so for Stan's board, I did all graphic novels and comics. So I did The Mortal Instruments Volume 4, and this covered a Jewish main character, because Simon is Jewish. So there's that. And then we had Primer, which covered about heroes and found family. Primer I really liked. I liked the syntax of it a lot. The dialogue flowed a lot more naturally than most graphic novels, I feel. So it said, I think I saw like somewhere that it said like Primer 1, like there might be like companion books or something. So I'm gonna look into that. Because if there is, I'm totally interested in continuing. I think I gave it 4 stars. Excuse me. And then I had Sheets, which I used, I used Primer for About Heroes, Found Family, and A Job You Wouldn't Expect. For Sheets, I used that for Tony Stank and for the 1922 to 2018 prompts, and that one I liked it. I thought the little ghosties were cute, but it didn't like blow my mind entirely. And I give it 3 stars. And then Stan Meets. So I did Stan Meets Spider-Man and Stan Meets Doctor Strange. Stan Meets Spider-Man I loved even more than Doctor Strange one. The Doctor Strange one was fine. I think I gave it 3 stars. Or no, maybe 4 stars. I don't know. But the Spider-Man one I definitely gave 4 stars, and I liked that one a lot. There was like this one section that was my favorite where it was like Stan was the principal and like Spider-Man was in his office and they were like talking, and it was so funny and adorable. Alright, so then we have Oppressive System, and for this I used the Black Mage. Which was okay. It wasn't necessarily a me type book. It didn't suit my taste entirely, and it was definitely about a lot more heavy than I was really looking for. I was looking for like a cute, like inclusive story with a kid, like, you know, breaking down barriers in race and stuff. And instead of being like more like inspiring, it was more like down with the bad guys, which I understand. And I understand that that definitely has a place. It just wasn't what I was looking into it for. Like, I thought it was going to be a little bit more like, this guy's going to like go and, you know, pave the way. And rather than it being that, which I know he probably did pave the way, it was more like, definitely the system was corrupt. Very much so. So it was definitely darker and like a little bit more serious than I thought it was gonna be, but it wasn't bad. So different than my expectations, but not bad. I think I gave it 3 stars. If you really liked Ace of Spades, then this would be a good graphic novel to read, though, because if you liked Ace of Spades, then this is your cup of tea right here. Just saying. Okay, so I think that's everything for my boards. I think I've talked about every single character board now. Shockingly, I completed all the character boards, and I read some other books that I did not fit on boards. So I'm gonna try to make sure I talk about all of them. If there are any that I forget, then you'll have to forgive me. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called Midnight Sun. This is not the Stephanie Meyer one. This is an audiobook that I listened to, and it was garbage. I thought it was going to be super cool. No. Terrible journalism. Terrible. Terrible. So it's supposed to be like this journalistic look into this story about this indigenous man who was an actor and like it was about like this weird crime situation that happened, but like it was pointless. It did nothing to expand my experience of life, and I'm not sure why it exists, because it didn't really go anywhere or do anything. We're gonna move on. It was a 2-star from me because the production was good, but the writing and the purpose of the story, or the purpose of the telling this piece of history, this story, I don't understand. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the other books that I read. Let's do this one, poetry collection. I Find You in the Darkness. It was okay. Okay, this is gonna be weird, but the paper has like this textured print to it that I very much enjoyed. And then some of the pages are like fully dark, like the divider pages. Some of the poems were good, some of the lines were good, but I think I've discovered that free verse is just not my thing. So I reread A Christmas Carol every single year, and I always love it. It's one of my favorite classics in the universe. Glorious stuff. I also had a fun time reading this, a collection of quotes from Downton. That is really just what this is. It's called The Wit and Wisdom of Downton Abbey, and it's exactly that. It's very wise quotes and very funny quotes, and I just went through and I highlighted the ones that I liked the best, and I put a box around the funny ones and highlighted the like intellectual ones. But yeah, a lot of fun. Okay, and then I had this collection of Robert Frost poetry, and I think I'm gonna have to give this another shot because I didn't understand. I was not in the right headspace to read this, and to be like dissecting poetry. I was not in the right headspace at all. It was not it. It was not the time for me with this. There were some that I really enjoyed and some lines that I really liked, but in general, I just couldn't like comprehend the overall purpose or arc of the poems for quite a few of them. So we're gonna have to come back to him at some point. Maybe I'll, you know, watch like a couple of videos on different ones of his poems and see if that, you know, is an easier format of me consuming his poetry for me to start. And then once I like get in the right headspace of like seeing his patterns, then I'll be able to like read it more thoroughly and understand it more quickly. But like sometimes when you're starting out with a poet that you haven't experienced before, you have to like learn their patterns of symbolism and themes that they tend to lean into so that you can like catch exactly what they're talking about from the get-go. So we'll come back to that at some point. I also quickly went through and read the illustrated history of notable Shadowhunters and denizens of Downworld, which is literally like a quick synopsis of each character and then like the artwork for each character. It was a fun time. Yeah. Moving on. I have 3 more books here. We'll do this one first. So this was a reread. The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. I really enjoyed the reread. I did lower it from, I think I had it at a 5 and I moved it down to a 4 because I think that it's not quite as mind-blowing as I remembered it being. I still really loved it. I thought it was great. But it's not quite a 5. So, there's that. One last stop by Casey McQuiston. I loved it so much. Literally one thing that pissed me off, and that was page 181. If this page did not exist in this book, then it would be basically perfect. But this page kind of ruined the perfection for me, because it was pretty seriously frustrating. Like, they were already kind of talking down on like Christianity, but then like she kept making it worse by continuing on, and or no, Wes said it. I thought it was what's her name? The girl that is in with Nico. Anyway, but the line, is your family horny for Jesus too? I'm sorry, but can you maybe not speak like that about something that is literally the most important element and aspect of some people's lives? Can you not be degrading and disrespectful to somebody else's, you know, something that is to be revered and honored and sanctified and pure and perfect for some people? Like, that is, I got issues with that. That really made me angry. And it's so frustrating because other than that, this was a perfect book. Literally, if you just took this page out, it's a perfect book. Like, I kind of want to just cover up this page, like paint over it or stick something on top of this page and pretend it doesn't exist. But the reality is that it does exist, and it's not acceptable to talk about things like that. Is like the most important aspect of my life. You're just talking about it like that in a very derogatory, crude way. Like, that's so stupid too to say. Like, it's such a stupid thing to say. Like, you couldn't even at least come up with something funny? Come on. Like, if you're gonna talk trash, at least do it good. Because that, no. Everything else about this I absolutely loved. So, I still gave it 5 stars. But I was really angered by that section, and I haven't talked about it much. So I wanted to talk about it here, that is an issue and it needs to be addressed. Because no one, I haven't seen anybody say it. Or mention that that's in there, and that's not okay. That's not nice. That's not right. I understand that some people might talk trash about you that are Christians, but it ain't me, and so you shouldn't talk trash to people just because some people talk trash to you. Like, that doesn't fix the problem, you know? So, like, whatever. Anyway, moving on to another, I think I gave this 5 stars as well, The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I loved this. Super, super sweet themes in this story that are very heartwarming and heart-lifting. Very cute romance, beautiful magic system, very stripped down with not a bunch of side plots cluttering it up. So it's very relaxed read. It's a relaxed kind of reading experience, and I really enjoyed it. So that's everything. I think that is every single book I read in 2021. So, I hope I didn't miss any of the ones that weren't on character boards. Sorry that this, 2-part video thing was really chaotic, but you know what? I just kind of wanted to get it all out and done so that I can move on with my life and go into 2022 not bringing in a bunch of wrap-up videos for character boards, because I realized very, very quickly that I did not want to do all of that. So, changes to 2022 wrap-ups. I am going to do like recent read stuff, and then I'm gonna wrap up my character, or I'm gonna like update you guys on my character boards like quarterly on what I'm putting on what board and where and how I'm like arranging my boards. I'll just do like a quarterly mission log update or something like that, just to make it a little bit easier on me, and especially the editing process, because with the way that I'm doing my editing for these, I don't like it because like I could do it in Photoshop, but then I would still have to put everything in, export it, blah blah blah. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure you subscribe and notification bell down below so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video. I will see you guys soon with another one. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
About your worries and your stress. I mean a bare necessity. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.